Good evening, I'm Shane Jones, leading the news at 7. Three of the island's largest workers' unions and the government appear to be on a collision course over the recent budget. During a press conference today with heads of the Barbados Workers' Union, the National Union of Public Workers and the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union, it was announced there will be a joint meeting with their shop stewards next Thursday, July 6 at Solidarity House. President of the Barbados Secondary Teachers Union, Mary Redmond, says the meeting will allow them to finalize their planned response to government's actions. This is critical, she says, as the proposals which the unions put forward to ease the squeeze on workers appear to have been ignored.
The unions involved have, in attempting to initially input into and subsequently amend what has resulted in a draconian budget, had meetings with government. At those meetings, these unions have recommended coping strategies in the form of 1, an expeditious conclusion to wages and salary negotiations for public officers, 2, an initial recommendation of the removal of the NSRL that was modified to a compromise position of a reduction of that tax to not more than 5% in total, and 3, a coping mechanism until the conclusion of salary negotiations.
The unions last met with government on June 23rd. However, Ms. Redmond adds the unions will also be writing letters to some parliamentarians, including Prime Minister Frundle Stewart.
In the interim, however, the unions will jointly fashion correspondence to the Prime Minister, the Leader of the Opposition, and independent members of Parliament, again outlining our position and recommending an acceptable response as we attempt to move forward on this matter. We are hoping that common sense and caring will prevail, and that concern for the financial well-being and social stability of members of this society will override purely fiscal considerations that, if they are enforced, will redound to the destruction of our society.
Government has been shelling out big bucks towards redevelopment and physical upgrading of some of its leading educational institutions. During the Democratic Labour Party's weekly Astor B. Watts lunchtime lecture, Education Minister Ronald Jones explained how funds are spent in the education sector, saying $24 million have been allocated to the Barbados Community College, $20 million to the SJPP, and $6 million to Erdeston Teachers College. The minister says within the last 2 years alone, 9 bachelor's programs have been introduced to the BCC.
Previously, there were 3 programs. Today, there are about 11 or 12 bachelor programs at the Barbados Community College. And those students in there, we have a bachelor's in nursing, a bachelor's in pharmacy, a bachelor's in physical education and sport, a bachelor's in culinary arts, a bachelor's in visual arts, performing arts, a bachelor's in journalism, for those who want to learn the right craft in journalism. All of those are evolving, and it costs between $10,000 to $12,000 to educate a child or student at the Barbados Community College.
CBC's massive soca and pork lime after party is underway and kicking just behind us here in the car park. It's there we'll find our Ryan Broom in the midst of the action. Ryan?
Well, good evening, Shane. I'm definitely in the thick of things, and anyone who knows me that anywhere there's pork, I'm nearby. But earlier this morning, there were more serious matters at hand. Actually, as regional testing day got underway, we heard that the Caribbean Media Alliance is looking to broaden its focus. Lisa Broom was there and filed this report.
After 10 years of laser focus on HIV and AIDS, Executive Director of the Alliance, Dr. Alison Leacock, says it's time to look at the wider picture of health and wellness. She told the launch of Regional Testing Day 2017, the hugely popular and successful Live Up campaign has now set its target on the chronic non-communicable diseases.
We are going to be widening our Live Up focus and information, continuing to train media and stakeholders as partners to connect across boundaries and promote the health of Barbados and, of course, the region, because we are a regional entity. With stronger focus on prevention, not just with HIV, but for non-communicable diseases, greater inclusion and accessibility for people with disabilities.
Dr. Leacock says Live Up will also focus on youth networks to get young people to pay more attention to health issues. And it was in this context that one of the newest Live Up ambassadors, Tony Thorne, encouraged the campaign to meet young people where they are.
We have a lot of facts. We have a lot of ticket distribution points. It would be really interesting to see testing going on where the young people are. Don't let it be said, oh, I'm not tested. I couldn't get to the clinic, or I couldn't get to the testing day at CBC. Go to where they are. Find them. That's the attitude we have to have. Not one that is domineering, but one that says, hey, I care about you. I have come to where you are at. Let's get you tested.
The CBC is one of the primary partners in the Live Up campaign, and General Manager Doug Hoyt has reaffirmed that support.
As we open up our airwaves, our social media platforms, our physical space and our compound here in the Pine, we wish you every success, and we recommit CBC's partnership as together we continue to embrace our national and regional responsibilities. He
was joined by Shadow Minister for Health Dwight Sutherland, along with Jamal Roach, District Treasurer for Scotiabank's Caribbean District. Lisa Broom, CBC News.
And as Barbados continues to make gains in dealing with HIV, that's according to Chief Medical Officer Dr. Joy St. John. She was giving an update on the condition up to the end of 2016 during the launch of Regional Testing Day 2017 here at the CBC. She also accepted an award for the Lady Mead Reference Unit from the Caribbean Media Alliance for its work testing and treating people with HIV/AIDS over the last 10 years.
73% of clients eligible for treatment were taking ART, and 63% of these were virally suppressed. In addition, the annual number of new HIV cases in Barbados is on the decline. And this is in keeping with other studies which indicate that the HIV incidence rate of new HIV cases is slowly decreasing.
And Dr. St. John attributed this success to the use of antiretroviral treatment with an emphasis on identifying cases and linking people with care. But what's worrying to Dr. St. John and other health officials is that a majority of people who are diagnosed in the late stages of the disease.
This indicates that we continue to diagnose people very late in the disease process, and this is problematic for two reasons. First, late HIV diagnosis means that their chances of favorable outcomes are reduced, and there is an ongoing risk of HIV transmission when someone is unaware of their HIV infection.
And joining me now is one of the people at the heart of this production, CBC's marketing specialist, Alicia Hinson. Good evening, Alicia.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm excellent.
Well, tell me about today.
We had a great time today. It was the regional testing day, and we started off with those proceedings, and we went into a full soca line at the CBC car park. We had some partners with us, MQI, and they brought up a Mazda 3 and a CX3. We had the Barbados Workers Union, Cooperative Credit Union, and they were offering some summer loans up to $5,000. We had Easy Pay, we had Massey Distributors. So we had several partners with us that really embraced the soca line today, and it was so much pork, and more pork.
Well, I mean, it looks like the party is now about to really get started, so tell me what's happening now on in tonight.
Yeah, so as Versi says, we are about to up the thing, and we're starting off with exercising with the Bajantics, marching with Bajantics, and that leads us right into our 98.1, the one DJs fully cranking the system and really having a full out soca session. Later on in the night, pork will be available all night, so we're still having that they told me the China pig, this pig, yes, so that's going to be here. And then we're going to go into some live performances from the Sweet Soca, Some of them, a little bit of bashment and a little bit of party morning. So a big, so we invite you to come on out, come. And also Chris Wood was singing nice. So there's so many performances. If you're at home, finish watch the evening news. And as soon as 8 o'clock comes, dash out the door and head down to CBC's car park.
Thanks you so much, Alicia. And as you heard that, Shane, pork, music. Crop Over Festival 2017 is well underway. And it's back over to you now in the studio where I go find some pork.
Thanks so much, Ronald. Join you outside for a red fruity after. Well, as we hear in this report from Lisa Lure, the action in the car park started quite early, and one of the highlights of it was the eagerly anticipated draw for the Bashment Soca Finals.
From around 10 this morning, patrons participated in several activities and were entertained by the pulsating music throughout the day. Marketing specialist at CBC, Shane DJ Ras Edwards, says it was also a good opportunity for several of their corporate sponsors to come on board.
Consolidated Finance, they're doing some financing. MQI, they brought along some of their Mazdas on display. Easy Pave, selling hurricane supplies and different hardware supplies. Barbados Workers Union doing fast loans. Massey with different products, selling their products. Breeze, Neutrogena, Lifebuoy, and lots of other products. Then, of course, we have the food and the drinks on sale as well. MCTV, signing up persons for pay-per-view for Crop Over very early as well with that. So if you want to get it early, this is the place to be.
Now, this afternoon, the big draw was also done for the order of appearances for the Bashment Soca Finals, which comes off on a phenomenal Friday, July 7th. First out on stage will be Skrilla with Wood, followed by defending king Stiffy with Tipan Benova. Third on stage will be Lady Essence with Fluffy Gal Anthem. Fourth, Kupadan and Rhea with Bear Trouble. Fifth, Stabby with Wuckist. Sixth, Snap Brandy with Bend Over and Ride. Seventh, Hardware with Pop Down. And closing out the competition on the night in 8th spot will be Marsville with Gas It Up. And there's still time to come out and party as the after party and Port Climb gets started around 9.
People love coming to CBC and people love food. So if you're coming to CBC, we're going to give you the food and the drink at the same time. So of course our close relationship with Contact made the Port Climb happen very easy.
Now today's Soca party is just one of the events you can look out for from CBC during the Crop Over season, but you will have to be tuned into the stations of the corporation to find out more. Lisa Lord, CBC News.
Thanks, Lisa. A young Barbadian environmentalist was awarded for her advocacy this week by the Queen of England. Jamila Seeley, Regional Coordinator of the Caribbean Youth Environmental Network, flew off to London at the start of this week to receive her Queen's Young Leaders Award. Ms. Seeley announced via Facebook she was proud to have received the award. Along with visiting Buckingham Palace, the group toured the Commonwealth Secretariat, the BBC and Facebook. They also spent 3 days receiving mentoring and training from the University of Cambridge's Institute of Continuing Education. The Queen's Young Leaders Awards program, now in its third and penultimate year, celebrates the achievements of some young changemakers from across the Commonwealth. 6 youth around the world received the award this year, with interests ranging from mental health, disabilities, and gender equality. Okay, we'll take a short break here and come back with more news.
Don't let your data experience slow you down. Step up to Digicel, Barbados' fastest 4G network, more than twice as fast as the slow network. Get more with Digicel. Digicel, the fastest 4G network in Barbados. Dial *153# to sign up to Digicel today.
We start with a yes. But when life takes unexpected turns, you can still say yes to more. The Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card gives you points with every purchase that you can use to travel to anywhere. Plus, with just 20,000 Scotia points, you can say yes to destinations. With Scotiabank Aero Platinum MasterCard credit card, it's easier to say yes to everything. Apply today.
the globally harmonized system of classification and labeling of chemicals. GHS. Be careful, read the label. It's safety awareness for all people. Be careful and read the label. Safety while using chemicals is our goal. Global labeling, communicating safety information to you. So read your label and please be sure before you pour. The globally harmonized system of classification and labeling of chemicals. GHS.
Looking for the best stage of the festival? It's the CBC Festival Stage, where the stars are sure to appear.
Yes, I get a lot of crap. Listen, there are a lot of people that are recording that shouldn't be doing it. They should be sweeping the road, as far as I'm concerned.
So don't get on that because the whole of Barbados set go down, then all of a sudden that go down, it cannot be Bashment Soca. It got to cross over into the main Soca drum. But that sample condemn rhythm from Jamaica, no, but your criteria, that make it Bashment Soca.
I am saying that when you look at the music over the years, it was never given an identity.
Watch Festival Stage Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays live on CBC TV 8 from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Festival Stage is repeated on Mondays and Wednesdays at 9:03 p.m. and Fridays at 10:03 p.m.
Fluffy girl. Arch your back and work on it. Arch your back, work on it. Hold your ankles, they sit on it. Girl, you fat but you fit. Squat on it. Yes, it's your girl Lady Essence and I am a finalist for the Bashment Soca competition going down at Kensington Oval July 7th. So I want everybody come out because I'm ready to take that crown with my fluffy divas. Watch Fatty!
An initiative is underway that could make dining in Barbados more affordable and nutritious. Local and international chefs will be coming together for the Art of Cuisine, which is expected to significantly increase the country's culinary offerings. Kareem Smith has the details.
Barbados prides itself as the region's capital for luxurious taste, especially when it comes to food and beverage. Earlier this month, they brought home the Taste of the Caribbean 2017 crown for Team of the Year. But it gets better. Next week, international chefs will get insight into a number of local products that can be used in restaurants across the globe. Local chefs will also get training to improve their pasta and pastry dishes. BHJ's Chief Executive Officer Rudy Grant thinks the benefits will be tremendous.
We reference Barbados as the Epicurean capital of the Caribbean. And if we are going to continue to make that boast, then we do have to ensure that we are constantly up in our game. And Chef Jason has indicated that many of the times he has noticed that there are items and produce that we can use, Barbadian items, Barbadian produce that can be used, that we may not necessarily be utilizing at.
Addressing the press conference via Skype, internationally acclaimed Barbadian chef Jason Howard said a lot of locally grown foods aren't being used in the country's restaurants. He migrated to the UK after losing his house to fire, but next week he'll be the main chef featured. He'll be bringing a number of world-renowned chefs who specialize in Asian, Italian, and Spanish cuisine as well as pastry. They will create art using only locally grown produce.
There are plants in Barbados that can be used as a substitute for coffee. There are edible herbs on the beach that we walk over every day. And to my surprise, they're in London, which you will have to pay like £12 for a punnet of 100 grams. And these things are very good in medicinal properties. I mean, everything you can think of is in Barbados, is right on their feet. So we would like to show that off also, and we would like to share the knowledge with the chefs that you can call on these and you can go actually and forage these plants and stuff.
The Art of Cuisine will also be partnering with Divest Barbados, giving chefs the opportunity to hunt for lionfish, a fish which culinary experts believe is being underutilized. The climax of the event will be 2 pop-up dinners featuring a 4-course meal, one at Oceans 2 and the other at Daphne's restaurant, all in an effort to showcase a new side of local produce. Kareem Smith, CBC News.
There is a consensus among players in the fisheries sector that the all-important industry is often overlooked in national development. The island was told the sector is a provider of jobs for many men and women and an important source of cash revenue as the Barbados National Union of Fisherfolk Organizations hosted a Fisherman's Day panel discussion. The topic, Fisheries' contribution to food security in a changing climate. Chief Fisheries Officer Stephen Willoughby is confident fish can contribute to food security.
Do all people have access to fish? Yes. Some people may not eat fish, but we all have access to fish. Is it safe? If handled properly, it is safe. So yes. Is it nutritious? Yes. Can it maintain a healthy lifestyle? It can contribute to maintain a healthy lifestyle. About an active life, yes, it can contribute to that. We know, for example, that food is low in fat. Fish is a low-fat food, high proteins, rich in vitamins and minerals.
Boat owner Henderson Innes says the island is saving foreign exchange thanks to their contribution. He says Barbadians are large consumers of fish.
Almost every household in Barbados use it. In fact, really and truly, I had to look at some statistics. And I see I went back as far as 1985 on the economic reports, and I see that we consume about roughly on average 2,000 to 3,000 metric tons of flying fish annually. Really. And that's a large number of fish that we consume in Barbados.
We're accustomed to celebrating fisherfolk every year at the Oistins Fish Festival, but for the rest of the year they fade into the background. Well, yesterday was recognized as Fisherman's Day, and they were hailed as citizens who provide an invaluable service.
Really fishermen, them fishermen.
Fishermen in Barbados work hard, but they have fun too. And there is no shortage of fishermen's tales of adventures in Oistins. Rough seas, sinking boats, and even falling overboard.
We went out on the boat, and when we got a certain way, about 40-45 miles, the boat just burst leak. When we look in the boat, you could see a hole in the bottom of the boat straight in the ocean. That was like, well, all we did was like get some old cloth and plug it and put a big piece of earth on top of it and made our way back to shore.
And overboard in the middle of the ocean, my brother inside the boat house. And I overboard. and hollering, he can't hear because he's inside the boat house with the engine. But when he come out, he missed me. So he turned back the boat and come and find me.
And of course, there's always the battles with fish and the ones that got away.
We had fights with marlins for a couple hours, then losing out to some of them. You gain some of them, yeah. The bigger the fish, 400 pound fish ain't easy to fight with. You fight for hours, and then they get him home. And then at the end of the day, burst the line and go along and just leave you all tired out.
I catch a marlin already with 600 and somebody pounds. I had about a 3-hour battling with him. I catch a land shark with 400 and somebody pounds. I had about a 5-hour battling with him. You catch a lot of big fish, and you got battling with it all the time.
Throughout the misadventures, the fisherfolk function as a family and look out for each other at sea and on the land.
The fishermen, they go catch their fish and come back and feed us all. Everybody get a meal.
Many of them were awarded for their contribution at the Oistins event, which included a health and food fair. The fishing community was grateful for the celebration, but veterans say fishermen still face a stigma of being considered uneducated second-class citizens.
No, we are not respected. We are considered the least among the people in Barbados. Our personalities is the worst. I agree with discussing, do very bad. That's where we come from.
This seemed to be a consideration of co-founder of the Oistins Fish Festival, Stella Lady St. John, who gave remarks. She continues to advocate for a local fish academy to educate and empower the fishing community. What fishermen told me they want for themselves are improved hauling and a system facilities. But despite the challenges, all fishermen I spoke to seemed to love their job.
If you had to choose the sea or the land, which one would you choose?
I would choose the sea because it's more comfortable out there, more relaxing, and you get away from the hustle and bustle and get involved in people's issues and so on. So I would choose the sea.
Fisherfolk Week of activities started with a church service on Sunday.
Fisherman.
Denise Blackman, CBC News.
Thanks, Denise. New programs to foster student development will be rolled out from the beginning of the next school year at the Vauxhall Primary School. Principal Heather Paris made the disclosure during her address at the school's graduation ceremony held at the Ivan Herwood Center. Rianne Phillips reports. Sorry, we don't have that extract at the moment. Well, after the break, we'll take a look at stories making headlines across our region.
Community Files. The St. George Parish Independence Committee, in collaboration with the St. George Parish Church, will stage a harvest market on Saturday, July 1st at the Glee Playing Field from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. There will be hydroponics, aquaponics, and greenhouse farming displays, as well as cottage industries, arts and craft, jewelry, vegetables, and plant stalls. Indigenous food and local wine will also be on sale. You may bring your diseased plants or photos of them to the plant clinic at the Harvest Market from noon to 3 p.m. and get advice on plant pests and diseases. Entertainment will also be provided. For more information, contact Marilyn Eversley at 267-6521.
We are builders. We build from foundation to rooftop. We build. Barbados Lumber Company is proud to announce the opening of its new hardware and home improvement center in Church Street, Spikestown. We guarantee the same high quality service, affordable products, and a free island-wide delivery that have made Barbados Lumber Company a household name. Come shop with us and experience Spikestown's newest treasure. Barbados Lumber Company, building our country, our communities, our home.
Barbados Lumber Company.
See that night? I know that she cool, but girlfriend I call her, you looking for Austin. But I the leg break bowler. Girl, you's beer trouble. Yo, it's your boy Cooper Dan, and you know me and my girl Ria caused beer trouble in the semi-finals, and we on to the finals now. So we want your support. Come out July 7th, Kensington Oval, Phenomenal Friday.
Jamaica's Minister of Justice, Delroy Chuck, has sounded a warning to gunmen in that country, telling them they better start running. He says for far too long, gunmen have wreaked havoc and murdered Jamaicans, including women and children, with impunity. Minister Chuck's comments came during debate in the House of the government's Zone of Special Operations and Community Development Bill.
I say, Mr. Speaker, here we have a bill worked on by the Attorney General, the Prime Minister, the Minister of National Security, many members of the National Security, a bill that is intended to respond to the problems that we're having in this country. And when this bill is passed, Mr. Speaker, gunmen better start running. In fact, they better start running from now.
Guyana and Brazil have agreed to pursue cooperation in the oil and gas sector. Guyana's Ministry of Foreign Affairs says during the discussions this week, the two parties discussed a range of issues on their bilateral agenda. They included the development of infrastructure linking the two states, the promotion of trade and investment, and technical cooperation in agriculture, water resources management, and other areas. There was also collaboration on issues of interest to the communities in the region of their common border. Former Premier of Bermuda, Paula Cox, has announced her resignation from the main opposition Progressive Labour Party. She will contest the upcoming general election as an independent candidate. General elections are set for July 18th after Premier Michael Dunkley preempted an opposition-inspired vote of no confidence against his administration, opting instead to call a fresh poll. Cox, who had been bypassed by the party to contest the Devonshire Northwest constituency, wrote to the PLP chairman, Scott Simons, earlier this week, indicating her resignation and decision to contest the election as an independent candidate. Well, a peek into the world of sports is just ahead, but before we get there, here's a tip from Cooperators General Insurance.